everybody, it's your boy. Let's get this thing started. Subscribe. I need to take one more good old multivitamin. Gummy form now. Yes, DOGE is putting in that work. I'm talking about, I seen this video yesterday and I was trying to comprehend what it was about when it was talking about the broadband. And just like in the profession that I do as a community health worker and a / photographer for the county mental health system and being involved in my community and advocating. And we constantly ask, what's the holdup for the funding when it come to homelessness and this, that, and the other, or trainings and stuff to or easy grant applications when we do proposals. So, some spots are getting dealt with and some not. But just to make a long story short, we're 2 minutes into the show. Give you a brief description of what this is about. We're going to talk about the LA fires. We're going to talk about a place where I used to work at, what they red tape was about when I used to work at a tire shop, and then they had to go through some zoning information. So kick back and let's check out this first clip just to warm things up real quick right in the party. So this one.
Kamala and I are making an equally historic investment to connect everyone in America to high-speed internet. We're announcing over $40 billion to be distributed to 50 states, Washington, D.C., and territories to deliver high-speed internet in places where there's neither service or it's too slow. And that includes rural communities like Appalachia. It includes tribal lands from a. So
that's enough right there, just fair use. I mean, you can go and look at that quick short video because, man, when Joe be speaking, it be some exaggerating, jumping off. Tribal land, Alaska, to the Dakotas. Do you see it say it right there? So, but like I said in the chat, those just putting in that work. So, fair use. And let's take a brief look at how much DOGE is saving. Then we're going to get back to what Joe was talking about. Okay? Fair use. Let's get ready and get busy with it. It's right here. Actually, those have saved.
DOGE slashed so.
Ready? Let's hear exactly what he's finna say.
This guy.
DOGE slashed.
This guy can walk in the air. As you can see.
DOGE slashed so much government spending that it has claimed that it has reportedly saved the government over $1 billion per day. Even though this is an astronomical amount of money, Elon Musk has stated that he actually wants to increase this to $4 billion per day. Now, there are debates all over the internet on how accurate Elon Musk's figures of $1 billion per day is calculated, but a clock called the DOGE clock, which tracks DOGE savings in real time, has been added to the government debt and expenditure tracking website. You can go to US.
And that's how it looks. The USDebtClock.org. Track that. Like if you want to see how fast things are being spent, they just added it to this. So you can see how things in some transparency and goes on.
Debtclock.org. This clock claims that DOGE has already saved the government tens of billions of dollars. DOGE slashed so much government.
So fair use. Ain't that something? Check that out. That's rather interesting, but no one don't want to talk about that. They want to talk about other things. See, no one don't want to talk about that. That's how much they save. So as you see, Jon Stewart and them was speaking on the topic of what Joe Biden was talking about. And then what Joe Biden and them was basically talking about was this. See, this is what nobody don't want to talk about. Now let's go to the big newscast. Should we do the big one or the short version? Let me find the big one. It's right. It ain't been nowhere close. All right. This is the part that when it comes to the $42 billion of broadband, and what makes this real interesting is this. Fair use, struggle screaming, fair use. And this is how we finna do it. Biden to announce $42 billion in high-speed internet. And then on the economy, this is what they want to talk about. So let's get this started.
Batters his approval ratings. Tom Dempsey has more for us from Washington. Hi, Tom.
Hey, good morning, guys. Yeah, in just a few hours right here at the White House, President Joe Biden hopes to pick up some momentum for his re-election campaign by announcing $40 billion to boost high-speed internet access in areas of the country that...
And this was 1 year ago. 1 year ago. That's a lot of money.
Really need it. But taking the bigger view at what's really happening right now, President Joe Biden and his team really plan to highlight the economy this week. Again, trying to pick up some momentum for this re-election campaign and a chance for the president to tout his legislative accomplishments.
Look at all them people rooting and rallying. Did they pay them people to do that? Because look, these people may have homes. That $42 billion could have went to making homes.
Since he's been in office, as they plan to take this messaging on the road. As part of this announcement today, President Joe Biden...
And building homes. And look at all that money. We could have been building homes, handing out jobs to build more homes.
Biden will kick off his Investment in America tour, again, giving him a chance to highlight some of his economic wins in particular. The big infrastructure bill passed by Congress months ago included efforts to expand internet access. So with this announcement today, expect to possibly hear the term Bidenomics by the president and his team as they talk about the president's effort to rebuild the economy and help the middle class while trying to show the country or make...
See, and there we go. There we go. There they go with that grip of buzzwords. The news is doing to everyone to help the middle class. Man, it seems like the middle class always come up around election time. What middle class? Can they be specific on what is middle class? What about regular class? What about regular class? To boost the economy, to stimulate the economy. What is these middle classes and individuals going to do? And don't we have enough high-speed internet? But like I said, I got that fire thing on my thumbnail. When these towers and stuff get burnt down, will we be able to build real quick and stuff like that? So let's get to this fair use and let's really get this show cracking. Because now we're going to see what we really need to be talking about when it comes to too much government jumping off everywhere. Too much. And I first found out yesterday about this. And Jon Stewart, the actor, him and this guy, man, it just blew him away. This just to prove that, DOGE and some of this stuff, he's going to be blown away. They got to go through all these steps.
An award, again, planning grants, not broadband grants, planning grants. And it's still at the NTIA. It's still at the first step. All right. So the NTIA must issue a NOFA within 180 days. States who want to participate must submit their letter of intent. Step 3, they can
20 days. That's step 3.
request up to $5 million in planning grants.
Just planning.
Just planning. Step 4, the requests are reviewed, approved, and awarded by the NTIA, which currently all 56, 3 years later, all 56 applicants had passed through at least step 5. It took more than 3 years. So it's a long time. States must submit a 5-year action plan. So the states
Yeah, they're just finding out. He's just now finding all this information that all these regulations that these Democrats have put forward literally lets you do no work. Look how much time it takes just to plan. Then to get approved, that's another 3 years. Bro, they've
Right. And then what makes it bad is that he got his head
messed up America.
on, but
planning grants, then the 5-year action plans. In between that, the federal government has to put forward a map saying where it thinks we need rural broadband subsidies. And then, of course, the states need an opportunity to challenge the map for accuracy. And you can imagine this doesn't all happen in like a day. Okay. So then the NTIA.
No. Oh, this.
so fair use, go over there and check out LV Nation. But man, this is just with the planning. So I just wanted to give you a little glimpse of what I was talking about there. But right here, I like the way this individual will start up the show. Broadband, yes. Y'all see me right here. It's broadband over here. But what I'm up here, the way I'm looking at that there with the Ethan fire, the Palisade fire, and the Sunset Boulevard fire, it's like everything burnt up. Power didn't went off. And if the power didn't went off, the broadband didn't went off. So will they have to reposition, or will they be able to put the poles in the towers back over there in the Sunset and Palisade areas and the Ethan Fires area? Is what the Altadena fundraising and all of that work they're doing today out there in Altadena, is those attorneys and individuals over there knowing, yes, we're working to keep our homes and rebuild, but at the same time, the other infrastructure of who's on where their towers will be. And will that be some more paperwork to stagnate the process? See, so that's a lot of things to look at right there. So with that, let's go over and check out the red table talk, and then I'm gonna try to sign out for this, and I like the way she started hers.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl Mika, and we're back for another Red Cup Talks, because this is where truth, pop culture, and politics meet. So I wanted to come on today and talk about how the liberals, known liberals, not known liberals, celebrities, all of them are having a come to Jesus moment about liberal policies. And none other than Jon Stewart is having a come to Jesus moment about the $42 billion Biden spent on broadband. Yes, expanding broadband across America. But what ends up happening is nobody got it. And I do mean zero. Nobody. So much bureaucracy, so much of hiring people, spending all this money, and nobody got it in the end. And when I tell you liberals are coming to realize that their policies are trash, this is their wake-up call. Here we go.
Issue the notice funding opportunity within 180 days. That's step 1. Step 2, which all 56 state applicants completed, is states who want to participate must submit a letter of intent. After they do that, they can submit a request for up to $5 million in planning grants. Then the NTIA, step 4, has to review and approve and award, again, planning grants, not broadband grants, planning grants.
And it's still at the NTIA. It's still at the first
All right, so the NTIA must issue a NOFO within 180 days. States who want to participate must submit their letter of intent. Step 3, they can request up to $5 million in planning grants.
Just planning.
Just planning. Step 4,
planning.
the requests are reviewed, approved, and awarded by the NTIA, which currently all 56, 3 years later, all 56 applicants had passed through at least step 5. It took more than 3 years. So it's a long time. States must submit a 5-year action plan. So the states kind of go back and they kind of think about how they're going to do this. And they don't just say, okay, thank you for the money. We're going to spend it. And you can see how it worked out later. We're like, here's our 5-year action plan. Then the FCC must publish the broadband data maps before NTIA allocates funds. So having done the NOFO, the letters of intent, the request for planning grants, then the review, approval, and awarding of the planning grants, then the 5-year action plans. In between that, the federal government has to put forward a map saying where it thinks we need rural broadband subsidies. And then, of course, the states need an opportunity to challenge the map for accuracy. And you can imagine this doesn't all happen in like a day. Okay, so then the NTIA, step 7, has to use the FCC maps to make allocation decisions. Then having already done their letter of intent, their request for planning grants, it's hard even to talk about this, man. Step 7 is NTIA must use the FCC maps that were already challenged for allocation decisions. Then having submitted all this, I think this one is actually quite amazing.
Yeah.
Having submitted their 5-year plans or letters of intent, step 8 is states must submit an initial proposal, to the NTIA. Then,
is that the result of their $5 million planning fund? This
I
initial
assume,
proposal?
but then what was the 5-year plan?
And what the fuck did they apply for? What was their NOFO?
Like, if the 5-year action plan isn't the initial proposal, then what's the 5-year action?
Forget NOFO.
Okay.
MOFO.
Step 9, NTIA must review and approve each state's, again, initial proposal. By my read, we have had at least 2 initial proposals here, but that's a different issue.
Oh my God.
Step 10, states must publish their own map and allow internal challenges.
Hold on. So,
that just to give you an idea. But then when you see her videos, the way she started off is real crazy too. Trip off of this.
States must submit a 5-year action plan. So
Oh
the
my
states
God.
kind of go back and they kind of think about how they're going to do this. In between that, the federal government has to put forward a map saying where it thinks we need rural broadband subsidies. Then having already done their letter of intent, their request for planning grants, it's hard even to talk about this. Step 8 is states must submit an initial proposal.
Is that the result of their $5 million planning fund? This
I
initial
assume,
proposal?
but then what was the 5-year plan?
And what the fuck did
Excuse me. Fair use, but golly.
they apply for?
This is the Biden administration's process. This is how
Why
liberal
not?
government works now.
So that's how things go. I'm trying to cut things off. And that's basically how a whole lot of things in bureaucracy been working. So feel free to go over there and check out Red Cup. I just wanted to give y'all a glimpse of that. And like I was talking about earlier, was like, even though all of that was well and said, we still have to look at, we got a whole lot of disasters going on throughout the United States, hurricane here and there, and yet this broadband supposed to be for rural areas. And then these people in these different states and county and in Florida, where, what they call it, a tornado, hurricanes, and all of these disasters has happened. So it ain't so much of us having the fires as a real big disaster. It is the fact that where's the money? Where's the funding? Why we have all this red tape? Oh, and let me get back to that story, because like I said, over there at the tire shop, where I was working, they relocated from the tire shop. So on Gage and Figueroa, it's a Valero gas station now. What cracked me up is that they knew I worked for the county, and I said I'd be going to the board of supervisor meeting. So what happened is that I drove him to the board of supervisor meeting, and we gets down there, and he said, because where they plant they shop at and shit in the Firestorm Graham area past the post office on Central and Florence, once they went east, the real estate agent, and they had no clue that the zoning for that area going towards Huntington Park, they did not want those kind of businesses there. So he has to put up $10,000 just for them to consider on whether or not they're going to come to the decision to allow them to leave that shop open. Make a long story short, they moved to Pico Rivera because they kept getting notices. Y'all can't stay here. And I did mention like, wow, man, y'all real estate agent did something wrong. So and that happened soon after their father then passed away. Rest in peace, man. Until then, this is one of them shows. Research everything that I said. Hit the like button. Shared it. I hope it was something very educational. But man, they keep finding a whole lot of funding. Go to that calculator and have a great weekend. And hopefully I'll come back with a shorter version to give it another spin on something real close to what DOGE been up to. Till then, peace.